Something is profoundly amiss with the psychological orientation of the African mind. We have been conditioned to measure the worth of our excellence only when it manifests beyond the shores of our continent. We boast when our doctors heal in London, when our engineers construct in New York, when our scientists innovate in Berlin, yet none of these feats are performed on African soil. Welcome to TMSCO Historic, where intellect meets conscience, and where truth is not polished to please, but sharpened to awaken. If you truly care about the destiny of this continent, I urge you to listen attentively, because this reflection will challenge how you perceive success, education, and national pride. A young South African scholar, Afiwe Hlatshwayo, epitomized rare wisdom beyond her years. After achieving 6 distinctions, she was offered a prestigious scholarship to study in the United States, a dream that many would call a golden ticket. Yet she rejected it. Instead, she chose to study medicine in South Africa, declaring that her future and her purpose belonged to her homeland. Now let us interrogate the symbolism of that decision. The Western world has never ceased its extraction of Africa's treasures, but while the minerals, oil, and gold are visible, the most silent form of extraction, the most devastating, is the intellectual exodus. They are not merely mining our resources, they are mining our intellect. They identify our brightest, offer them glittering opportunities abroad, and in return, we celebrate our own intellectual displacement as though it were an achievement. This, my brothers and sisters, is not progress. It is a tragedy cloaked in prestige. The so-called brain drain is a quiet continental hemorrhage. Our nations grow rich in potential, yet remain impoverished in execution. And our leaders, those entrusted with vision, sit idly as our finest minds migrate to build foreign empires while our own nations crumble under the weight of mediocrity. It is intellectually dishonest to celebrate Nigerians excelling as doctors in the United States or Ghanaians as engineers in Europe, when their brilliance serves foreign economies that barely acknowledge Africa's humanity. That is not national pride, it is a psychological colonization. True patriotism is not measured by the applause of strangers, but by the transformation of one's homeland. Afiwe's refusal is therefore not an act of defiance, it is an act of enlightenment. Her decision exposes the complacency of our governments and the blindness of our people. She chose to plant her seed in African soil, not in foreign gardens. That right there is the revolution we need, to believe that Africa is worthy of its own genius. So I say this directly to the custodians of leadership across this continent. Invest in your educational systems, dignify your scholars, and create conditions that compel your youth to stay. For if we continue to export our intellect as eagerly as we export our gold, then we are not developing, we are depleting. That is all for today. I am TMSCO Historic, reminding you that the rebirth of Africa begins not with applause for those who left, but with action from those who remain. Like, share, comment, and follow this page, because awakening minds is the first step to reclaiming the continent's destiny.